Welcome back. So today I hope offers a little bit of encouragement for you. And I just want to share with you that nobody starts at zero. Nobody starts at zero. Nobody starts from nothing. And if you're watching this video, you're far enough along in your life where you might be able to relate to that in a sense of you're not a baby anymore, right? Like you're not a little kid. And even if you are, you already have all the skills necessary to be successful. And that's incredibly important in today's message. The reason I want to say nobody starts at zero, and we're going to talk about health and fitness because that's primarily the majority of our conversations. When it comes to health and fitness, the solutions are rarely exotic. Rarely ever exotic. And what does that mean? Well, it really comes down to just a handful of things. And we're going to look at health and fitness briefly, and we're going to talk about what you're already doing. So the good news is if you're watching this, you probably are already eating, right? You eat something on a daily basis. You already drink. You're already drinking something on a daily basis. You move, probably, at some level on a daily basis. You sleep on a daily basis, and it kind of sums it up, okay? So we eat, drink, sleep, and move, okay? It's some level. Now, if we look at this a variety of different ways, all health and fitness is doing those things a little bit differently. So foundationally, it's not like we have to teach you to chew and understand peristalsis and digestion and all of that stuff. We don't need to do that. The problem is most of us think when we think of health and fitness, we don't think of ourselves being healthy and fit. We think of what that represents to us somewhere else, right? The six pack or the marathons or the rock climbing or the surfing or, feeling good, vibrant, attractive, confident, whatever that is, okay? And that's fair. That's fair. The cool thing about this though is because nobody starts at zero. Everybody's already doing something. Any minor change you make in the direction of your goal is going to accelerate your progress. So let's say I get up and I eat deep fried butter sauce. Let me be a little bit more realistic. Let's say I eat this standard, like every day. Okay, I got the country restaurant down the road, and let's just say that I get up and I go have 3 pancakes, 3 eggs, 3 sausage, 3 bacon, biscuits and gravy, hash browns, hot sauce on the side, and extra syrup. And let's say I put all those together, chop them all up, mix them up in this big old, 4,000 calorie dish, and that's how I start my day, okay? Now from there, let's say I go sit in an office, or I might do a little bit of work, but I don't move a lot, okay? But I have to move to get there. Then for lunch, let's say I go out and I either get a burger or I get a sandwich or maybe a soup and salad if I feel really bad. And so I go eat those things. Again, quite a few calories. I'm already eating. I like the taste. And then dinner comes around and I'm tired. So I either, order something or I get something that's primarily prepared or I prepare something that's easy to prepare. And that's my diet. Let's say I do that on a regular basis. Now, at some point, I started eating these things and I gave those things a meaning or a value. They represent something to me. Maybe I wanted to see how much I could eat. Maybe I was afraid of not getting everything I wanted in every meal. Okay, so eating all of a whole table of breakfast for breakfast every meal gave me the satisfaction of thinking, I got everything I need. I got everything I want. I don't ever have to worry about not having it because I had it all, right? And then we go to lunch and maybe we're just with coworkers, we're socializing a little bit, or maybe we just need something for convenience. And so we kind of stick to what's normal or familiar, and that creates those parameters. And then dinner, again, it's simplicity. It's a pattern that we've developed that have led us to making these certain decisions. And let's say that one's more feeling-based, okay? So they're all going to be ultimately feeling-based. But over time, we begin to realize that we eat the same foods 80% of the time. 80% of the time we order the same things. Go to a restaurant, chances are you order the same thing. You go to the grocery store, chances are you fill up your cart with the same things. When you eat, you want a certain feeling afterwards, like a certain level of fullness after each meal. You want certain levels of energy. You want certain levels of satisfaction. And that can come in a variety of different ways. But you're eating, already happening. Now, let's say along with these in the morning, we're having coffee and orange juice. And then for, lunch, we're having a Coke. And then dinner, we're having a beer. Okay? And I know these are all extreme examples, but let's just say this is it. And what happens is, let's say when we started all this, it was right out of college. Okay? And let's say we're starving students. We finally get a job. We're making some money. And then we're like, oh my God, I've always wanted to be able to do this. So you do it. And I've always wanted this, or I've always wanted the freedom or luxury to do this. And I've wanted these things. So we do those things. And then little by little, our energy starts dropping. Our weight starts going up. But before we know it, we're also surrounded by people who are doing the exact same thing. So it doesn't become that much out of context, although we understand that we don't like that feeling. We don't like the feeling that we have of making these decisions, whether that's in what we look like, how we feel when we look at ourselves or think about ourselves. It might be habit-based and we just don't know how to break it. And what I'm here to share with you is that the good news is you're already doing the thing. So by making minor changes, we can make that better, okay? Now let's move on to say sleep, okay? So let's say we're not sleeping well. Let's say we put on some weight. We have a CPAP machine now. We're restless, we're stressed. And now we have to take a sleep aid in order to try to get our rest. We don't think about much about our environment. We don't think about blackout curtains and noise canceling, or maybe even headphones, or using an app to help us go to sleep, calm down at the end of the day, writing out our thoughts. We have no ritual for sleep. And perhaps same with waking up. And then with our movement, it's very limited. It might be what we do walking to and from somewhere. It might be a handful of times that we go exercise or hang out with our buddies or friends, or maybe with our children or our grandchildren, wherever you're at in your life. But you notice how all of those things are kind of limited. And what we want to do first is, when we look at what you're already doing, I want to give you credit for that, because you deserve credit. You're doing something, right? There's some people that probably aren't. You're ahead of the game, okay? Now let's talk briefly about change, and we'll do more videos on this later, but right now let's talk about change. When it comes to changing things, okay, there's just a handful of things I want to drop on you. First is, if you don't feel good, how would you like to feel instead? Okay, just how would you like to feel instead? Do you want more energy? Do you want to be pain-free? Do you want to sleep well? Do you want to move well? Do you want clear thinking? Do you not want heartburn? Like, what is it for you? And it could be any feeling. It doesn't matter. Confident, attractive, mobile, right? What is it for you? It doesn't matter, but it's yours, so it matters to you, and that's what's important. Second, okay, what are things that you like for breakfast that would move you towards that goal? Okay? It could be, different breakfast foods. It could be new choices. It could be less of those same things, but it has to be things you like for breakfast, and do the same thing for lunch and dinner. Okay? That's one thing. Number two, I want you to write down the last time you had a great night's sleep, but more importantly, when is the last time you felt very well rested? Now, this might kind of come as a trip, because the last time I felt really rested is I was with a friend and he was watching something on TV. Like, we were just hanging out and he was watching TV. But that connection rejuvenated me. That made me feel really good. So we were talking and joking and all of this stuff. That's what it was. It wasn't the sleep. It wasn't anything else. It was that relationship that I had that made me feel really rejuvenated. Other times when I wake up in the morning, if I have a late night, I don't feel good. Get a good night's rest, I feel good. Different foods influence that as well. When is the last time it felt great for you? And when is the last time you did a movement or something that you enjoyed that made you feel good, strong, powerful, whatever that made, healthy, right? What are things that made you feel that way? And get specific, because you want these lists. Because as we watch these videos and as you begin to introduce wherever you're at on your journey, those next steps for you, you want to do one small one at a time. Okay, so what that might be is, instead of getting 2 biscuits with your biscuits and gravy, it might be 1, okay? Or maybe instead of getting that big breakfast, we try something just as big but with healthier options, like a big garden omelet, right? Or a Denver omelet, or something along the lines that might reduce a little bit of how you're feeling bad, but might be a better choice based on your situation. But you want to start with foods that you like, okay? Things that you like, movements you like, drinks that you like, that are preferably lower in sugar and non-alcoholic, but all based on how you want to feel. And just go ahead and write out that plan. I hope this helps. Remember, you're already doing the things. Small changes go a long way. We'll talk more about that in future videos. So have a great one, and I'll talk to you soon.